So, operator syndrome, let's dig into this. It's this collection of physical and psychological challenges that folks in high-intensity, high-pressure professions face. You've got military operators, first responders, even some people in the industrial sector. You know, people literally running on adrenaline for days, weeks, sometimes years. It sounds like it's ripped from a textbook, right? But no one's talking about it. Like at all.
I'll tell you why no one's talking about it. It's a branding problem. Operator syndrome? What even is that? It sounds like a tech issue, not, someone's entire nervous system imploding. The name doesn't scream urgent.
You're not entirely wrong there. The name might not hit like it should, but the symptoms sure do. Anxiety, burnout, wrecked sleep cycles, and even cognitive decline.
Pause. Cognitive decline? Like, what? You're forgetting where you left your car keys, or you're looking at your team and can't remember their names?
More like both. Imagine trying to plan a mission, something you've done 100 times, but suddenly the steps aren't coming together like they used to. It creeps in so quietly, though, you almost dismiss it entirely. That's the dangerous part.
Okay, but here's the thing. How do you ignore something like that? I mean, doesn't it hit you like, hey, maybe my brain's staging a mutiny?
You'd think, but no. When you're in the thick of it, the baseline is chaos, Like you just tell yourself, this is the job, and you keep pushing forward. I'll give you an example. A few years into my service, my sleep was shot, maybe 2 hours a night max, and I was, snapping at my teammates over nothing. But instead of seeing it as a red flag, I convinced myself I just needed to toughen up. You're conditioned to ignore it, to soldier on. Literally.
Wait, hold on. You ignored it? Like things were falling apart and you were just like, nah, we're good? That's wild to me. But,
It's not as wild as it sounds when you're in it. You normalize it. Everyone around you is operating at the same level. Or at least that's what it looks like. You don't want to be seen as the weak link, so you bury it. And then, years later, you realize you've buried yourself in the process.
Yikes. All because no one wants to be that guy. Right, so you're talking about burying the stress until it buries you. But here's the kicker. Chronic stress doesn't wait for you to notice it. It's already working overtime, wrecking your body behind the scenes. Your heart, your brain, your immune system, it's all under attack. You're just trying to keep the lights on while the system's crashing.
Exactly. Chronic stress, it's a silent killer in these professions. And the environments we're in? They demand peak performance. But they're, tailor-made to strip you down over time. Constantly alert, hyper-focused, adrenaline pumping. It's like a pressure cooker that doesn't have a release valve. For a while, you can maintain. Then, bam, it starts showing up in your health, in your relationships, everywhere.
You know what's wild? A buddy of mine, he's an EMT, emergency responder. The guy's a machine. Double shifts, no sleep, saving lives, like some capeless hero, right? But then one day, he confesses to me, he's driving home and can't even remember how he got there. Like, total autopilot. And he brushes it off like, just another day. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you're a heartbeat away from disaster.
That's what I'm talking about. You push through until there's a breaking point. Problem is, by the time you notice it, the cracks have already grown into, fractures.
But here's the kicker. Who even designs these environments? Who sat down and said, sure, let's build a system where people have to grind until they break? Like, do they even realize what they're setting everyone up for?
It's a question I've asked myself 1,000 times. The focus is on performance, metrics, results. But at what cost? Leaders think resilience means ignoring the warning signs, but real resilience would mean recognizing them early and doing something.
Right, because by the time this stuff shows up at home, snapping at your family, isolating, or just shutting down, that's the ripple effect. It's not just the person who's suffering, it's their entire orbit. Their spouse, kids, even the teammates who rely on them.
Families definitely pay the price. I didn't realize until I stepped back how much my own family had absorbed without even saying a word. My wife, my kids, they just adjusted to the cracks in me. I thought I was holding it together. Turns out they were holding me together.
Ugh, it's infuriating. the people you love end up becoming collateral damage. And all because no one thought to ask, is this sustainable? Spoiler alert, it's not.
All right, so we've talked about how unsustainable this all is, the toll it takes not just on us, but on the people around us. Now, the real question is, what do operators actually need? Not just to survive these environments, but to build careers and lives that don't implode along the way or afterward.
Yeah, and right now there's a Grand Canyon-sized gap between what they need and, what they're actually getting. Everyone's piling resources into training the body, but, the mind, that's still playing second fiddle.
Exactly. When I was at my last command, I started pushing for stress management resources. You know, meditation, downtime protocols, even just better sleep schedules. But let me tell you, it was like rolling a boulder uphill. You'd think I was asking for unicorns.
Wait, were people actually against it? Or was it more of that suck-it-up mentality?
A little bit of both. Some folks saw it as soft, like taking care of yourself was some kind of luxury. And then there were the higher-ups, who just didn't want to rock the boat. Status quo was easier.
Okay, but soft? Seriously? You're telling me the guy who can jump out of planes and, storm enemy compounds is suddenly fragile because he wants a nap? I can't with that logic.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but it's how a lot of us think, or used to think. And changing that mindset, it's slow. But here's the thing. When you take that first step, when leaders start prioritizing well-being, people notice. It gives permission for others to follow suit.
Right. And it's not just about the leaders. The organizations themselves need to bake this into their culture. Make it mandatory, not optional. You show up for physical training, why not mental health training too? Standardize it. Normalize it.
Yeah, and recognize that it's not weakness. It's maintenance. You can't run a high-performance machine without oil changes, you know?
Exactly. And I think operators themselves, veterans, even active duty, they can lead that change. Because who's going to know what's actually helpful better than the people living it?
That's true. The best resources won't come from checklists or policy manuals. They're going to come from experience, from guys and gals who've been through it. From people like us saying, hey, it's okay to need help. It's okay to prioritize yourself.
And honestly, it's more than okay. It's necessary. This isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving. About living a life that doesn't feel like a constant uphill battle.
Exactly. There's strength in breaking the silence, making the change. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. That's what I try to remind folks. You're not broken. You're still in the fight. And as long as you keep showing up, you've already won half the battle.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, folks, that's all for today. Take care of yourselves and each other, yeah? Till next time.